This is a deep dive into Seamless.ai. We will talk about what this tool actually does, how it works and which features you actually should use, also for who Seamless.ai really is, and of course about the pricing and a lot of other things. When you're especially interested in finding contact info for cold emailing, cold calling, general cold outreach, or maybe just researching. This will be a long tutorial where we will dive in each of the features Seamless.ai has. In case you just want to figure out how Seamless.ai compares to other tools and if it's actually worth it, check out my quick review here, link in the description. So let's start from the beginning on. So the basic claim is to find contact info for anyone with over 1.3 billion business contacts in 120 million companies. This is so far one of the highest numbers I have seen, since other tools like Leads.cm have 700 million contacts, or Apollo.io claims to have 500k businesses with 220 million contacts. How this will affect our user experience inside the tool is something we will discover later. So when you scroll through the website, very basic, find anyone's emails, also phone numbers, a lot of contacts, and a lot of products. So either you're able to find leads with a prospector, you might be able to create AI-generated messages. You also have the Chrome extension. It's that what you can see on the right side here. When you click on it, you find contacts based on the website you are on. Also good is of course that you can integrate the contacts in other tools. You have data enrichment. So when you use other tools like Leads.cm or other cheaper databases, you might be able to enrich these data points. We will test this later. And autopilot is the closest you can get to mass export. Since as you will see later, mass export is not really a feature of Seamless.ai, but you can run things to get more leads faster. Also, you find advanced things like job changes, buyer intent data. This one is based on Bambora, so since it's an API, you might find cheaper solutions for that, but at least the quality should be relatively high. Also, you have an AI-powered writer, and that's basically it. So it's not a cold email tool where you can actually send the emails. It's basically for finding the right contacts, maybe enriching them, maybe collecting some messages you want to write, but it's not really a cold email mass outbound tool. So let's click on Get Started. The first thing I realized is you basically have to become a Seamless.ai contact to become a Seamless.ai customer. I don't really like it because you have to have your full name, your title, your company, your business email address, your phone number, and you have to verify the phone number. And basically, it seems like you become part of the product. I don't know if it's true, but a lot of tools are not asking for so many information that obvious. So when you register an account, this includes one user, 50 credits with access to email addresses and phone numbers, and the real-time search engine. So you basically can very simple test this around. Potentially, you are already here and are now asking yourself, is it worth to upgrade? The basic upgrade solution we could look at is of course the basic variation. And this, in my opinion, is not really stupid, especially when you want to make use of the Chrome extension and they're looking for very specific companies. Of course, when you're looking for cold mass outbound with email or have a huge sales team, maybe 5 reps plus, this could be a problem. But in case you just want to expand your tools, in my opinion, it's not stupid to take this offer here. So let's look at the interface. I know a few months ago I already was here and it was definitely uglier. So they modernized a lot of things here. I actually love it. They of course try to pitch you again in their huge amount of contact number and bring you very fast to the area where you can search for contacts. So you can look for specific company names, the contact names, have a basic title search function. You can look for seniority. This is basically the management level of the company. Then you have the departments like sales, marketing, HR, company location, general keywords, industry, employee size. What I like is that you can look for self-employed people here. A lot of tools just start with 1 to 10 employees. So when you address single business owner, this is pretty nice. You can look for revenue and it seems to be unlocked. So not like with Apollo.io, you're actually able to filter by revenue, even without paying for the service yet. And the same with technologies. So when we compare this very quick with two tools alike, like Leads.cm, you basically have very similar options here, like job title, keyword, industry, company size, location, technologies, revenue, and some other fields. Apollo.io, the same, but as I said, technologies and revenue are locked. You have to pay for the service to even look for that. Definitely some plus points for Seamless.ai. Would definitely not be stupid to write in the offer stack that you have all filters unlocked. Going further, exactly what I did in my quick tutorial was to look if the company and people sizes are actually that huge. So when I type in CEO and look for leads in the United States, I get around 13 million results. That's a very high number. In Apollo, you have with the same filter options around 500k, with Leads.cm around 200k. Of course, the pricing is completely different, but it's a way above market standard number. So here's what you actually can do. When you click on the button here on Find, you research live for the contact. This takes 1 credit of your account and you get access to all information. Different versions of the email address, definitely kind of confusing when you want to figure out who to write to, but I like that you get the personal email address here and of course the phone number. You also can view your full profile and have a very nice overview. Also, you can download the contact and this gives you a nice CSV file of the contact. So to wrap it up, the search function is pretty nice, and I also like that you can give a thumbs up or thumbs down if you think if the email address is good or bad. But this is not really your benefit. It's probably what Seamless.ai uses to give the email internal rating. But when I go to an email address verifier and I just typed in the first email address here, it immediately says this email is risky. key. So you might not get 100% verified emails here, so it might be hard to put them immediately to a cold outbound software, and you definitely have to run the emails first through an email verification software. That's totally fine, it's very normal with all these tools, but it's very important to keep this in mind. So when we look through the interface, what do I find here? I can click very basically through pages. I can just find new contacts, click here, find the contact information. If I want just to dial a person very fast, everything works. I also have some features here like find all, then I'm just by accident clicking on them and using my credits as it seems. So I don't recommend that. I can also click on lists, so I can add contacts and add them to a list. That's very nice to create cold calling lists especially and save it here. But I'm definitely getting lost very fast because I really have the feeling I have to click a lot of buttons to understand what's going on. So when I click on contacts on the left side, it seems like that all contacts I've already unlocked are just listed up here. And I would assume that I can find my contact lists here and only have the list of the added contacts to my list one. That's, as I said, pretty nice when you want to use the tool in a way that you do a lot of cold calling. Maybe send an email before, research the company. You can research the websites here. This one doesn't seem to be available, so a small minus point in the first impression here, but it definitely doesn't mean that other websites are not working too. The second one, my list, for example, is working. As you can see, you also have an add integration button. I like this pretty much because when you use a CRM tool, and so far it seems like it's really focused on cold calling or really manual cold outreach, then you can just add your software. It will bring you to your CRM, and I assume then you have very easy integration of this specific list into your CRM. So what did we learn so far? We have a very nice search engine with the standard filters, all filters unlocked. We can unlock singular contact information with the find button and all on this page with the find all button. Then we can add our contacts to a list when we click this button here and create either a new one or select the list we have already created. Also, we have a company search where we can look for specific companies. So when you're looking especially for big companies, it's very nice because you can just look through the job titles, management levels and departments and look exactly for the people you want to contact. So when I just type a company like Adobe, look for United States, search, I find the company here, can click on the company here and find key contacts of the company, can click on find again to unlock their contact information, then I have to click on view and find this contact here. In general, I like how they play with the contact list and my contacts and everything, but sometimes I'm definitely getting a little bit confused on where my contacts really are. So when I go back to the homepage, what we basically looked into right now was the prospecting tool. When I would give it a rating, it would be around 4 out of 5 stars. There are really not gaps I see in other tools on saving the lists, sorting the lists, and finding good contact overviews. I actually really like it, and if I want to really search for single companies to find the key decision makers, I actually recommend Seamless.ai as a very reliable prospecting tool. Of course, we have to think about the quality of the data, but I really enjoy the interface and kind of the result I have when I click a little bit around my lists I've created, and the same with my company list where I can just click here and find Adobe. I definitely would like more in the companies area that I always see my credits, so I really know where I'm at, but when I click on contacts, I see my available credits. So what I did not find yet is pitch intelligence. So it seems like there's somewhere the option to send an email to a person, and as it says, it personalized my sales message. So I don't know exactly what it means, and I also don't find it here on the left bar, but this is of course not a lack of features, it's more like that I just don't find it as a normal user clicking around. The next thing I want to talk about is a Chrome extension, because basically what I said so far is that this tool is very nice on finding contacts, prospecting, researching, and then find single contacts. So basically right now I'm on adobe.com, and on the right side you basically already see the contacts I've already unlocked, like this one, and you can scroll down and look for people, click on find, and have inside of your Chrome extension the contact unlocked. This is of course a very nice tool when your day-to-day work includes a lot of researching, and I really would like to say that the price is very fair to find contacts when the pricing $147 per month would also include 3,000 monthly credits. But we're talking here about yearly credits, so every single time you click on this button on finding a contact, it costs around 20 cents. Of course, when you're a sales rep and just want to dial people, this can be a very good offer because you're basically one call away from the next close. But when you start to mass export contacts and want to fill it up with your CRM, this might get expensive, but I would definitely say still less expensive than Apollo.io, but we will look to the alternatives in the end of the video. So as I said, I really enjoy using this tool on the right side, finding out what the employees of the websites are, researching, finding the contacts, maybe dialing them, maybe writing an email, asking some questions, or whatever your sales process is. A combination of both. I really like that you just pay with each credits for the whole profile, not like with Apollo for either email or phone. So this seems very friendly so far. The next thing is of course data enrichment. So there are a lot of tools that claim that they enrich your lists, and what you definitely need before you enrich a list is another list. So what I will do very fast is I will go to leads.cm. This is basically basically the cheapest version on finding lead lists. And this is of course why you really often have to enrich this list after you exported contacts. So I click very fast on login, click on LinkedIn leads, choose my country. And now I'm very interested what I find out when I create a small list and import it in Seamless.ai. So I might look for a marketing and advertising industry, and maybe I only want to look for CEOs to have a small list. It's still a bit large. Maybe we can mandatory everything here. And now only maybe choose one specific company size. Looks good so far. I might just export one page. I save it. So now I have my leads.cm list here with email, phone, website, etc. And some contacts might be outdated. So I want to enrich this list now with Seamless.ai, and I'm interested in what will happen. So I definitely see immediately I have to change my CSV for the names. It's not adapting to it automatically. So I'll do this very quick. So this was definitely not the most pleasant thing to do. And now it seems like I have to click the blue button and it tells me to buy more credits. I try it again. It says my upload was successful. I can view my list. So I had 7 contacts included. Now I can look at the list. And what I definitely like so far is that I seem to have a little bit different email addresses. So when I have, for example, Duke, then the email address here is definitely different than this one. Also, it seems like I have a personal email address too, and also I got the personal phone number. So I don't know yet if the contact information here are correct, but this seems to be a very easy solution to really enrich the contacts I've already downloaded with other tools. What I don't know yet is how many credits I've used for this. So I don't know if this used right now 1 credit per search. And this would be, of course, a very important pricing question. Before I check this, I checked the new email very quick and found out that the email he exchanged my leads.cm data with is a verified email. But this also can be said about the email I've got from leads.cm. So I don't know exactly why it exchanged the email. Both seem to be fine. So what I found out so far is when you click on enrich, you can purchase enrichment credits. So this is quite expensive in my opinion. For 100 credits you have to pay $50. If you might have a larger list like 10,000 contacts to enrich, then you pay $3,000. So that's quite some money, but of course when you want to enrich a list, this is a very helpful solution. I like how easy it is to use with a small flaw of changing when uploading the CSV file, the header of the CSV files. But makes sense. You of course have some other options to enrich, like the company list, job changes, or just an email list, where you can find out a lot more about contacts based on the email you have. This is of course very nice when you have a paid ads lead generation channel and want to make a quick research before you outreach to these contacts. So I could imagine it in a way that you get a lead, maybe upload the email very quick. Of course you can just look for the contact and then get some more information, but when you have, for example, a larger list of emails and want to get more data on, the just contacts researching option here will be not enough for you. So I think the data enrichment tool is very useful. Of course, depending on your needs, but I can generally say the more I'm in this tool, I get used to the interface, I get used to the features, and I find more ideas and opportunities on how I could drive business. What I don't like in general is that I always have to think about credits. So I have to think about how much is this, how much is that, and I have this constant mindset of thinking about this will cost money, and this might also be not very nice for a sales team, etc. But when you just put a monthly budget for each of your reps, this might be a no-brainer again. So it's not a problem you can't get rid of. The next very interesting thing, as I said, is buyer intent. So I said before, buyer intent is a solution that's been brought on the market in a very visible way, where you can especially look for things or especially websites or products companies are already interested in. I assume so far what they basically do is they track people, which websites they are visiting, and then fills this data back into their overall universe of data to sell them the information of what websites people recently researched. This basically means when you look for specific topics, basically the topic you are selling in, then you can figure out which companies are recently researching similar tools. So since I don't have the credits here and don't want to buy them, I can imagine that the rest is as seamless as what we found out before. You can just research for your topic, click on it, then you might be able to save these topics and find contacts and companies who are fitting with what you're looking for. When I want to purchase more credits here, I have to be honest, I'm very confused. There seems to be a way where you can request an upgrade for the specific credit areas you want to have. So my first impression is that I don't like it, but when I click on request update, it seems like the team get the information and might just outreach to you. So a little bit confusing for me that you have to get in touch with the team, especially when you maybe are just researching for 200 companies. And I also could not figure out if the intent data is in the basic plan included or only in Pro or Enterprise, since they don't talk about it in the offer stack. But I'm definitely sure if you want to talk with the team, they will give you an answer, and you definitely will be with this video way more informed about the expectations for the tool. So the next feature they claim that it's great for cold outreach is the writer tool by Seamless.ai. For me, this seems just like a basic ChatGPT API integration where you can develop specific messages and have to pay for credits again. As you can see, I have a specific credit amount again, and it creates me a message. This looks pretty fine, but of course I don't know what the price for that is, and GPT most of the time is just way cheaper. But when you want to spend an extra money to play a little bit around with AI tools, this actually seems like a lot of fun. What I definitely see is when I look at this email, it looks a little bit long, and potentially your team already has better messages prepared that actually work, so I might move on to the new feature. So what you have here is a return investment overview. I actually really like it. For example, you see here the leads I've unlocked. I don't know exactly why it says I have 6 opportunities created and have made already revenue of 1.5k, but maybe it's just the basic settings I have inside my tool. I also don't know exactly how it measures this one, but I think they just wanted to give you a nice overview of some things you did. You might find better answers in your CRM tool on what revenue you actually did, and I would not go for a too deep dive here. Of course, what's pretty nice here is that you have a team usage, so you can exactly see what your team did. That's very helpful to allocate your credit resources. But to generally recap Seamless.ai, it seems to be a very good solution if you especially want to research contacts. Also, when you want to go on websites and find out contact information of these specific companies, you're able to find contacts that are very good for cold calling, and you have very easy to manage folder structure for your contact lists that is especially valuable for your sales reps. Also, you are able to manage the usage of your sales reps very good, so I recommend having a monthly budget planned you can present to the sales reps so you have a transparent conversation with them, and also don't have to worry about the credits on the top right going constantly down. Also, you're able to enrich your contact lists. This seems quite nice because you can expand the information you have about each contact. I was not able to test the buyer intent yet, but since it's powered by Bambora, I expect a high price but good quality. The AI writer seems a little bit meh, and the pricing is not really that transparent. But what you can be sure about is that you have a free version where you can just click a little bit around and test if the filters are suitable for your target audience. Also, you can buy immediately 3k credits per year for 1.7k or when charged monthly for 200 bucks. I don't know exactly if you just have the same amount of credits, if you have to keep the subscription, if it's split up by 12 and you have a daily limit or something like that. But in any cases, when you want to uplevel your account further, you have to talk to a sales rep anyways. I basically assume that they will just charge you by credits, like most tools do. So you just have to prepare yourself, ask yourself how many credits of each tool do you need, ask yourself how many team members do you have and how many credits each of them needs, write it really down, and then you should be very prepared in the sales calls to not get overcharged. Also, you have to be aware some experiences on Reddit say how they handle the charges is not completely friendly, but other people have the opinion that it's very cheap when you compare it at least to Zoom Info. In general, when we want to talk about comparison, to just get leads is of course cheaper with other tools like leads.cm where you don't have any export limits at all, but in my opinion it's definitely cheaper than most tools like Apollo.io, because when I see their plans, it always gets very pricey very fast. But since the pricing is not 100% transparent, you really have to calculate on your own depending on how many credits you want to use if it's cheaper or more expensive than other platforms. Also, what people say is that the quality of emails is relatively good with Seamless.ai, but when you want to go for phone numbers, you might be better served with tools like Rocket Reach that is very suitable for cold calling. But to just expand your stack of cold outreach software, you have a very nice Chrome extension, a very friendly user interface, and what I like, you will find a lot of ideas on how to make more revenue when using the data enrichment tool or the lead finder. I hope this demonstration was valuable for you. In case I forgot something, just write it down in the comments. I can answer it very quickly. And in case you went to a sales call, feel free to comment below your experiences so other people can make an informed decision too. Leave a like and subscribe for more SaaS reviews and demonstrations, and I see you in the next one.